X gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. All that power.
Boom. That's all I got today, Z.
Ladies and gentlemen, back BGST. We had a lot to talk about today. A lot. Well, it hasn't really a lot, but we did have some big news. Cass stepping down, the Pats lose. Monster Hunter's #1 played game on Xbox right now. Who would have thought? Who would play that Jap crap? Remember that shit there? You know what I mean? Xbox gamers don't like RPGs and all that shit.
Xbox gamers don't buy games from Japan.
I mean,
yet I see you streaming it for like almost 3 hours. Z, what's up?
Listen, you know what? This actually before I'll get right into it while the room is still filling, because I was gonna do a video on that and give like my ask what's your first impressions of the game. But while the room is still filling, you guys, as you're coming to be so kind again to hit the like button, we have a little fun tonight. D, what you got going on with yourself, good brother? Any videos, shameless plugs? What you got going on with yourself?
Who, me? Yeah, honestly, tell you, I just been digging into this UFC, man. Oh man, the UFC is so dope.
I haven't played it.
They have like a career. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna do a video on this too. But first of all, it is kind of an advanced game. So you know, if you're not willing to learn the system, it can be frustrating, especially if someone takes you down the ground and you don't learn it. However, they do have a stand-up mode, like a bang it mode, like a knockout mode, and the commentary is done.
Can you play that mode online?
I don't know if you can play that mode online. You probably can. But anyways, playing against a computer, Snoop Dogg does the narration. So he's doing the play-by-play for it. It's pretty dope, man.
Now you done put that battery in my back. I gotta check it out.
And you can upload your face into the game, and the face scan technology that EA uses is just amazing.
On your cell phone, we can't use the Dead Connect anymore.
No, I think it's off your cell phone, but it does a great job, man. And honestly, you'll see the video when I put it up. Like,
I don't think it's the same game as.
It's the best I've ever seen myself in a digital sphere. Honestly, tell you.
They use the game face for the same one they use for NBA Live, right? Yeah,
it's the same one, so you don't need to redo it. It just says, "Do you want to download your game face?" and it puts it right into the game.
That's pretty.
Oh, all right. K Mega, you there, good brother?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
No, listen, you told me you had a herpes outbreak. You was a little under the weather. You got herpes syntax A, B, and C. What's going on with you, good brother?
Not shit, man. Just trying to shake this flu. Man, just gaming. That's it.
Oh, K Mega got that thought flu.
Okay, all right. What you got? You been gaming? Anything you working on?
Yeah.
Actually, what are you playing? Because you don't play no game. What are you playing?
Since K Mega don't play no games, I just completed the complete story version of DBZ, all 30 hours of it, and then I've got some different things that some other achievements on S-class rank through the hyperbolic chamber, all that and crazy.
I never understood that. What does the S stand for? I understand A, B, or C, but what the hell is the S?
It's just the top rank. If you go through and go through all those enemies quick, get the stylish kills, things like that, then you get an S rank.
Yeah, that seems to happen on a lot of Japanese titles. They have that S rank.
Yeah. So anyway, but no, the story mode for the arc, the good side and the bad side of the arc, I thought was pretty dope. When it got to the androids, it was pretty boring until it got towards the end. But all in all, you get that Android 21 for free. You didn't have to buy her, and so I was cool. I was happy about that. But yeah, all in all, man, DBZ Fighters is awesome. And then I'm also back on Split Second. Yeah, I just forgot how fun that game is.
Marlo Mega, don't start that shit now. Come on, man.
I'm telling you, man, Split Second is the truth, man.
Last game.
Man, Split Second is true. It's a sleeper, man. I like sleeper hits, man. I mean, I advise people too, if you have not played Spec Ops: The Line, play that game. That story is absolutely twisted, but it's very satisfying.
So what you're saying, K Mega, is that you're enjoying backwards compatibility. Playing old games where you don't want to play the old ones, but
old and new.
Playing the old ones.
Yes. And Monster Hunter is cool too. It's just that I'll get into that here. I'll probably play a little bit of that tonight.
Okay. All right. Nethus, what's going on, Nethus?
Hey man, what's going on? You know, I've been chilling back. I actually got some videos out for once, and I'm on that grind.
You on that grind? Stuff. What you got about? You got about 4 subscribers or some shit, right?
Yeah, I got about 4. So
my
good for me.
All things is possible to the power of Christ, my man. We'll keep praying. All right, okay. But what are you playing? You know, what PUBG?
Yeah, I'm stuck on that PUBG. I played a bit of that Fighters, and I want to get to that Monster Hunter. Like, yeah, invite me to that.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, I got it, but you know, I got to play it more.
Oh, okay. You should tell me. You know, okay. Oh, okay. Crab's here.
Crapgamer.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, you piece of shit? What's up, brother?
What's going on? Now, you guys only just started 5 minutes ago, so
you've been there for like a half hour waiting on your pale ass, man. What's going on,
man? I fell asleep, man. I've been kind of under the weather a little bit, but I'm here and I'm ready to kick a little ass, man. I got a little pep in my step. Them Patriots got smacked like a little bitch.
Oh, okay.
That makes me extremely happy.
Yes.
That makes me
that
extremely happy.
Fumble at the end was so poetic, man.
I know.
Yeah. Let's hop right into the Super Bowl. What's going on? Now, listen, for the record, I am a Pats fan, but I was rooting for them to lose. And we all know my why. I was rooting for them to lose, but have at it. Talk to me. You know, I haven't watched football all season, but talk to me.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you were boycotting, right? Because people were kneeling. I
was mad. I wasn't watching any NFL games because too many blacks were kneeling to the flag.
Exactly.
Stand up and fucking
exposed.
My God. Black Republican.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you know. I mean, you're talking about you, man. You don't want to disrespect stuff like, you know, eat pages out of the Bible. Who knows, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, crap. Listen, man. That wasn't.
Tell him crap.
That wasn't me, man. That wasn't me. May God forgive me for my sins. That was not me.
He does.
The power of Christ commands you. That was on my exes and shit that day, but back, man. But now, I listen. I wasn't gonna watch the game at all. And then I tuned in like halftime, you know, commercials and shit.
Of course.
Super Bowl has the best fucking commercials ever. You know?
Yeah.
This year was really good. This year was
that Peter Dinklage one was the best.
That was good. I like the Amazon one. I mean, what's it called?
Yeah.
All that shit. My wife has one. What's that guy? No.
Echo.
Yeah. She has that shit. Might be like Alexis, like Michael Jackson.
You know what? I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I was actually playing some PUBG and stuff during it. Like I was getting updates on Twitter, kind of as I was going along. Because honestly, you know, I never thought in a million years. Like you're talking about the Patriots, right? Like this team is supposedly the most well-coached team of all time, and they're going to lose to a team that was using a backup quarterback. You know what I mean? Like I never saw that happening, especially with the way the Patriots are. You know, just how they are.
Now, if you guys remember a few years back, not to turn this into a sports podcast, but because we're here right now, right?
Yeah.
So if you remember back when they first started the college football playoff, my Ohio State Buckeyes won that national championship with their third string quarterback. So
yeah, but are you talking about college? This is the big game, man. This is like, and not only is this a backup quarterback, this is a backup quarterback that has been passed around a bit. And then he drops 40+ points on the Patriots.
Yeah, but he's going
to get a starting job somewhere next year. I guarantee you that.
He's going to get a starting job somewhere else. And well, you know, and that just comes to show how bad that our previous coach, Jeff Fisher, please rest in peace, for my Rams, was, because Nick Foles did come from the Rams and then went to the Chiefs and then went to the Eagles.
Yeah, they also had Goff, right, who stunk Fisher's last year and then really lit it up last year.
Yeah, and Goff is. And now the Rams made the playoffs and all that. So
you know what's funny is I see people going like Cleveland Brown fans. They're like, "Hey, if Philly don't want you next year, Foles will take you, dude." If I'm any quarterback, I am avoiding Cleveland.
I'm almost like if Foles is still under contract for another year.
He is, but you know what? They could easily. They'll probably keep him depending on if Wentz is going to be ready or not, because he did blow out his knee.
They said it could take him at least a year to come back. When did he blow out his knee? November, so maybe at the earliest he could come back as September.
Well, yesterday he's already walking around. They said he's ahead of schedule and he could theoretically be ready for the start of the season.
MVP. The other guy might even get his fucking job back.
Wentz is a way better quarterback than.
You think so?
Hell yeah.
Showed up and showed out.
He played, man, but I just. This is just what it is, man.
Then that fumble at the end. When I heard that, man, I was like, I cheered. They're like, and I'm like, and I tweeted out, I was like, the Patriots lose? Like, question, like, holy shit, you know what I mean? I was like, man,
Tom Brady memes with
the Patriots lose, PlayStation is next to lose.
Here's the thing with that, right? Like with anything, when people are like, Tom Brady's the greatest of all time, and I'm like, hold on. When I think of people that are the greatest, when they get to the big show, they aren't losing multiple times, right? Brady, that's his 3rd Super Bowl loss, and technically, if you want to get clear, this could have been his 5th Super Bowl out. They had no right beating the Falcons last year. They had no right beating the Seahawks if they just run it.
So
they should have beat the Rams to get their first Super Bowl.
Exactly. Like they have no, and it took them to spy on the Rams the first time. K Bega, come on,
listen,
be real. So you have that, right? So you have this guy who's lost all the, just like LeBron. That's why LeBron can never be the best, because when you think of Michael Jordan. What is he? 6 rings, no losses in the finals. How many losses does LeBron have?
Comparing LeBron and Jordan at their same ages, LeBron has way more, besides championships, way more accolades than Jordan.
Yeah,
a different game.
Well, accolades is different.
Yeah, it's a different game.
It is
a different game.
Yeah, I think that's different. When you look at things, I mean,
because of the bad boys.
Just being honest, to me, overall, all around player. LeBron's a better player.
No.
He Michael score, make it defense.
I'll tell you what, man. I was a big
LeBron's a more complete player.
Yeah, I was a big basketball fan back in Jordan's heyday, right?
Shit, you fat bitch. What happened?
No, I just like everybody. It's like one of those things. You're a kid or whatever, and a teenager, and everybody's like into basketball when they're winning 6 championships.
Crap, for them, Jordan.
Yeah,
I cannot picture you in the basketball. That bitch just like Larry Bird.
You know what? Here's the thing: is I was tall, so I'd always play. We'd always be playing the pickup games, and I was always like center and stuff. So yeah, it was like and I'd always do like the Hakeem Olajuwon kind of like back myself in. You know what I mean? Like
right now, y'all PayPal, send me a personal video. You doing an Hakeem move right now? Send me a link to your PayPal.
So yeah, I used to do that, and then I do like this little like hook shot, and I was pretty good at it if I was close enough, So yeah, I was really into it. But like watching that guy was something special, man. You were like, man, this guy can win and close things out. When you see LeBron, when I've watched some bits and pieces of him play in the finals and stuff, which he's lost every time I've like bothered to watch, you're just like, this guy, there's no comparison, man. He doesn't got the it factor like Jordan has, And then when you also look at it, LeBron points the finger at everybody around him and never wants to take any responsibility.
He had never left. That's the one thing that's why you can never compare Jordan to LeBron, or because of the fact that Jordan has never lost in a finals.
Yeah, but if you think about LeBron, though, ever since he came into the league, every year he gets to the damn finals. It's
because the East is weak as hell. Like back then, the East has been trash for a very long time.
Okay, but when he was in Cleveland, they went from being the top seed to the worst, and then when he went back, they went back to the top. You can't tell me this guy's not a good player.
The only reason why I'm not saying he wasn't a good player, but the only reason why he became great is when only reason why he got his ring is when he left Cleveland and went to the Heat, and he had to team up with us to make a super team. So he can't bitch about Golden State being a super team.
So what are the Golden State Warriors? What are the Golden State Warriors?
They're a super team. That's what I'm saying. They super team. Can't complain about Golden State because he's the one that kind of started this stupid shit.
Hey, do you guys remember Hack-a-Shack? That shit was funny, dude. I used to remember that. Like, throw everybody and their mother in the shack to hack that dude. Like, that was funny as hell. But yeah, I think LeBron's an okay player. He's no Jordan, and I think Tom Brady's an okay player, but he's no Montana.
I don't know. In all honesty, I think Brady's gonna go down probably as the greatest of all time. To be honest with you, I
don't think so.
It'll be debatable between most, but I really think he is, because even to the last freaking they were down by so much, and we were still nervous.
I wasn't. Once he fumbled and they went up 8, I was like, the most they could do.
It came down to the last play, and as everybody was just holding their breath as he threw that ball into the end zone with that Hail Mary play. Everyone was just holding their breath because he's done that shit so many times.
Well, that's just the name of the game. You want to make sure you got that W, and then when you do, it's like we've seen him kind of sit there on the side. And not only that, but I've always said that he was a product of a system, and he was a product of a weak division.
Now, crap.
Yeah, look at this. And when I say when I say weak division, I mean it, man. He's always in there. Tell me when the last time the Dolphins, the Bills, or the Jets do the goddamn thing. That's 6. It should be 6 easy wins every single year. Then they skate through the rest of the season. Always get that bye week. Always get the home field advantage where they got a huge advantage.
Brady's good as
they
fuck,
get into but hold on, they get into the Super Bowl and then they don't do well for as good as a team as they supposedly are. They always
got shit defense.
It's always I mean, but I'm just saying, man.
Hey guys, while we're speaking
man.
about champions, I think we should speak about supposed champion at Sony named Kaz Hirai. You can get the show going here. Oh,
Kaz Hirai, he's done. He's out.
What does this mean? No, I actually was he the head of the whole Sony?
He was head of PlayStation at one time. Then when Sony started tanking and PlayStation was the only thing doing anything decent, they promoted him to head of Sony. So.
Yeah, and he makes a lot of appearances for like their TV stuff.
Yeah, he was also famously the guy who fired Andrew Garfield from Spider-Man because Andrew Garfield was supposed to show up at some kind of event. And he never did. Yeah, so he fired him, and that was the end of that Garfield experiment.
You know what? I will say this though. Offshoot me because also rumors of them they may be selling their movie studios, right?
What the hell would they have left?
PlayStation. I guess and maybe the TVs.
Maybe that's why the rats are leaving the sinking ship.
You know,
maybe.
Andrew House is gone.
Yeah,
he just left. He's out of there. Kaz Hirai,
Boys is gone. Boys' replacement's already gone.
Yeah,
they've got
wait, his replacement's gone. Who was that?
Yeah, his replacement already left as well. I don't remember the guy's name, but he just left as well. They don't see this is the thing. When people leave Sony, it's like usually an afterthought. Oh, this guy's leaving. You know what I mean? So it's not really something that a lot of the big sites advertise, but Boys' replacement left like less than a year after Boys.
Yeah.
So that's never a good news, you know. So they've gone through quite a change up.
You know, speaking of sinking ships and Kaz Hirai and all that, so what do you guys think? Because a lot of Sony people are saying, you know, he was a champion, he's just stepping down. It was his time. What are your real thoughts on it?
Real thoughts. You got it, crap.
Well, I mean, if they're really getting rid of a lot of things, then I think they probably need somebody to take them in a different direction.
Maybe he was against that. You know what I mean?
Maybe, or I mean, like what happens? Like I don't know 100%, but he's still with the company. So basically, what happens is he gets a seat, you know, like a window seat, and basically doesn't have much.
Here's my theory. Check it out. Here's my theory. Maybe I'm just throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks. Right? Crap. What was we was damage control the most? 2014 when we was out there spinning anything.
Yeah.
2014, 2015. Remember they had the I think the guy was he was French. They CFO. He stepped down because he wanted. And he had like $1 billion invested into Sony. He wanted the company split up into what was profitable, the PlayStation division here, the movie division here.
That was one of the board members for.
He was the CFO. He was the CFO, the chief financial officer, and the reason for him stepping down because he wanted Sony to break up the company to what was profitable, what's not. They can cut the fat. And Kaz was, you know, he was against it because. We can all admit now that PlayStation is basically what kept the doors open for Sony. Remember, they were out there fucking selling buildings, literally. Was selling the goddamn shirts off their backs, stay afloat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that wasn't that long ago. Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
So maybe again, like, you know, maybe I'm just guessing here. Maybe they wanted to do that again. Maybe he was against that. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But this is a little like you had 2 major people step down in 1 year, like, you know, within months. You know, I don't, you know, that's.
Well, nobody ever makes a big deal out of this stuff. You know what I mean? It's people don't like. They're just this happens. You know what I mean? Like
it's business.
Yes.
To my knowledge, the only thing that's really keeping them afloat is really the PlayStation. Last year, with their televisions, they actually had a pretty good year last year. So Samsung screwed up last year with their TVs, and Sony actually came in competitively priced and had a better product. Usually, Sometimes Sony will have a better product, but they'll overprice it where it's not really worth that extra $1,000, you know?
Extra $500.
And last year, you know, they had a couple of hits in the television department, but like, you know, their surround sound receivers, their PlayStation Now, like only the PlayStation, and they got lucky last year, and their TVs are really making money for them. The rest of their products are garbage. I remember Sony used to be the end all, the be all before.
Apple.
If it was Sony, it's Sony. It's the best quality. That's it. And everybody just went for it.
90s, yeah, for sure.
And those days are done. And I don't think they've really recovered from that and found a new direction. Apart from they struck lightning with the PlayStation though. That's for
Well,
sure.
here's the thing. Here, but again, I said this. I think me and I mean I didn't think me and Mighty Muscles talking about this. We did a little show. Yeah, Sunday. He's the numbers man. He works with numbers in real life. So I guess like you said, I remember years ago, Sony was the Apple. You know what I mean? Whether you got a Discman or a TV, if you had a Sony, you were in there, right? But you know, as I started, I normally get a TV every year, right? When I was living life on the high hog, right? And even let's say maybe back in like 2000, when I get my first high def TV, maybe like in like 2004, with the big bottom and the big back and all that shit there, with the big speaker at the bottom. I noticed then that Sony television would be $700 more, $800 more than the Samsung television, or you know, RCA or whatever the hell is out, ProScan, whatever. But either the Samsung would have equal or a higher specs than that Sony television, but it still would be $800 more. And then you go to the computer section, you know, their laptop, Sony, this running regular, what's that, Windows XP, it would be like $1,500, cost you more than a Mac. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? I just think they overpriced themselves throughout the years. You know what I mean?
And let me tell you, those Sony VL computers, they were garbage.
It was dog shit.
Yeah.
Dog shit.
Yeah,
Well, of course they were. They were running Microsoft Windows though.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but no, they weren't even. They were like Acers, but you know, you were paying for the name. Like that shit was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the person that you was talking about. Crap, his name was Floridian Hunskinser. I can't say his last name. He was the third party relations boss.
Yes,
he stayed there less than a year, and basically, I mean, when people don't really think about this, but when Adam Boyes left, he left Sony in a wonderful position, because just look at all those Street Fighters and all those games that they had from the third party that was being strong for Sony. After that, then you start seeing the third party kind of dwindle down a little bit compared to what's going on. And then now you got this guy staying less than a year, and then he's bailing out. Then you see all these top guys leaving. You see the people from Naughty Dog leaving. There is something that's in the water going on right now, and there could be PlayStation fans that could be naive and think that this isn't meaning something, but this means some kind of change is happening.
Well, they're changing their direction a little bit because they've got to get ready for the future a bit.
Right.
And believe it or not, it's going to be games as a service. I know that's a bad word, but they've got to have some kind of idea for the future to incorporate. And they've said that they're going to incorporate microtransactions and this type of idea into their future games. And they have to, you know what I mean? They have these single player games that they're known for, that people are buying and, you know, getting, and they're not like, you know, the problem with those are people will buy and play them and beat them. Like we're going to get God of War, right?
Yes.
Play it, we'll beat it. And then we're back on the Xbox on something like, you know, PUBG's, Sea of Thieves, Gears. What's that?
Let me ask you a question then. All right. Microsoft came out, made a very bold move, very, very aggressive move with Xbox Game Pass. Okay. And I always say this again. I remember me clear as day, and my exact words to Phil were, "I don't want to see my preferred platform of choice become a service." Right. Yeah. Remember, it was a conversation that Worry really got me riled up that day.
Oh, Worry, he'll still rile up people, dude. Like,
yo, Worry put that goddamn Barry in my back. I barely tweet any execs anything. I fucking hit Phil on fucking Xbox Live. He hit me right back, and we had a little convo and shit, right? Long story short, right? And in typical Phil Spencer fashion, he answered my question without answering my question like a fucking politician, right? Fuck it, right? What's done is done, right? Sony spent $350 million on Gaikai, right? We can all agree, there's no bias, that PS now has not been a success.
Bust.
Especially when they first came out with the service, that pricing was horrendous. Like, my God, they were charging like $15 to rent a game for 3 days. Some old shit from like that shit was crazy, right?
Yeah, it costs more to rent it than to buy the game.
You know what I mean? And streaming it at $720, like, you know, it is what it is, right? So, do you think now, because now that because people said, no way in Sony will put PS4 exclusives, even though some of them are old in PS now, and put it on PC. Now it's there, right? Do you think, for this thing to grow, or to maybe get charging maybe a premium price, do you see some of the exclusives going there day and date?
Nah. No, because Sony's big deal is that they can lord over Microsoft right now is the whole idea that we have traditional exclusives, and even the ones they put in PS Now were like years old.
I
So,
but commercial is business.
Yeah, and I don't think PS Now. I don't think that's a big enough thing where like as I don't. To be honest, I don't really think about Game Pass as a big thing either. But I don't see enough people really going, "Oh man, now I can play on PC."
This is why I say that, right? Because I remember this is a part of my little damage control. I used to have the PS Now on my Samsung 4K television a few years ago, right? Hey, I don't need Sony. These ain't exclusives either. I don't need a PlayStation to play God of War and all that stuff, right? Now it is a business. Forget all the fanboy stuff, right? Yeah. And they really want this service to take off. Just being clear, you know what I mean? Because there's no really money in hardware. All the money is being made in software, and they could charge maybe 20. What's Microsoft charge? $10 a month, maybe if it's $15 a month or whatever the case may be.
$10,
and you get to and I heard that their stream is not that good. Maybe they can let you download it. Make structured more like Microsoft has it. Okay, because they all copy each other. I can again see them doing it because it's good for business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have to make a return.
What
just not taking off. I mean, they have to make a return on their investment because it really isn't working out right now. So they have to do something drastic with that.
$350 million they spent out there on that.
But I actually
wanted I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to ask the panel a quick question. We were over. I know me and Next Gen especially have been dogging on Microsoft through all of 2017. I made multiple videos. Next Gen's gone multiple rants. You guys even got to here in BGST. But what do you think about Microsoft with that awful year? That's in my opinion. It was an awful year. But right now they seem to be buying stuff. There's good news going on for them. And Sony, there's people stepping down. Like, what do you guys think about that?
It's been what I've been saying from the very beginning, and people say that I'm damage controlling. Is that was when Microsoft had to go through the change of management. I said these things take time. And of course, I've been told, Mega, no, this is this, that. Phil Spencer's been there for this whole time and blah, blah, blah. And now we're seeing that now since everything is stepping in place and they got people that's lined up in the positions where they're supposed to be, now you're seeing that they're going to work. And that's the same thing that Sony has had. Sony hasn't had that problem because they've had these people in place. Now it won't probably take effect until probably towards the end of this generation, maybe the start of next generation for the problems to subside, not to subside, but to come. But again, with all that turnover, there's going to be some kind of changes happening. And with Xbox making the right decisions, making all these decisions, just because what happened in 2017, there was some fluke things happening. I mean, the situation with Scalebound, the delay of Crackdown 3, then you had other issues that came in between in 2017. So it without having Scalebound and having a Crackdown to be a part of the big game movement, then that's what hurt 2017.
Absolutely. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $2 donation. I'm sorry, I got to cut you off.
What's actually surprising, speaking about games, is apparently there's a game that's it's a little out there on the PlayStation. We don't know what's going on, and that's ironically coming to the Xbox now. You guys want to talk about that DayZ?
We can. I mean, that game is coming to. They did confirm that it's coming to Xbox One this year. Yeah, and they said maybe eventually PS4. The problem is that the reason why it's so late on PS4 is because that game's like PUBG in that it's a work in progress, and Sony has no preview program. Like PlayStation fans will be like, well, we don't want any broken game anyway. You know what I mean? But the reality is these games are a lot like PUBG is a lot of fun. I don't care if it works right now or not. It's just
it's intense.
Yeah. It's a great game. So, you help build it up, you get it for a discounted price, and then you'll have the full game when it comes out, and you can help shape the direction of the game. So,
I mean, I just find it ironic though, because we had game cancellations and we complained about that. But right now, PlayStation basically had the game that's out there. We don't know what's going on, and where the competitor is getting it first. I mean, I find that very interesting.
But Microsoft is a more open platform for developers right now.
Absolutely.
Microsoft's like, hey, you want to put the game on here? Here's the stuff.
Game preview huge for him, because if game preview never became a thing, we would never have PUBG. We wouldn't have Astroneer. We wouldn't have all these games that come to preview. Games would just get released and then they would die because they're just not what the creator's vision was. Some of these people, these indies, need people like us who will buy games in the game preview help shape their game. And I think that's what the DayZ developers are looking at. Like, wow, Game Pass is working really well.
Hey, like here's the I want to talk a little bit about this as well. Like so God of War, we're all getting it. I pre-ordered the collector's edition. It looks great, right? But that still doesn't really alleviate my concerns with optional boss fights and lack of jump button, right? So I'm reading this article and it's like the developer alleviates concerns about these things, right? And so this is what he, and he also clarifies some comments about the boat sections that make up supposedly 25 to 30% of the game, which means for 25 to 30% of the games, you're in a boat.
Okay.
So he says that this is a different way to do traversal, and there's a lot of fun, quote unquote, interactions that happen during this. And he assured the fans that they have nothing to worry about in the game. It's merely boat traversal. And he also addressed fans concerned about the lack of a jump button. Corey Barlog stated that there's nothing to worry about the lack of jump button and players won't miss it in the game. So that's his reassurances. There's nothing to worry about here, folks. You won't miss it.
Nothing to see.
Nothing to see here. That's it. Right?
I find it strange any type of action game like that. It doesn't have a jump button.
Well, when you're porting over basically just The Last of Us and putting a Kratos skin on it.
Come on, Crack. Come on. God damn it. Hey, Crack, come on, man.
Look,
the game looks good, but God of War was all about
God of War looking like, what's that girl from The Last of Us too? Nelly, what's her name? What's her name?
Ellie.
Yeah, oh, come on, Chris. You so fucking disrespectful.
But no, it's Rise-ish. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, Mega, I know you're chomping at the bit. So, what do you think about what's going on with God of War? Because you've been on that for a while.
Hey, how do you feel about babysitting in that game, K Mega? Tell us.
Man, my kids are older now, and I really wasn't in the damn mood to mess with another child. But you know what? I mean, but Kratos, I got love for Kratos. He's an old friend of mine. So I'm gonna give him a little. I'm gonna give him a
He's
pass.
no Marlo Briggs, but still.
No, he's not Marlo Briggs. He's not hashtag save Lot. But we're gonna give him a chance.
Hey, what we've seen though, you're really not impressed with the K Mega?
Oh no, graphically it looks fantastic. I mean,
it did
see,
suffer
that's
a bit
the
of
thing that makes me nervous is that action, because that said you guys think that action is going to be just nonstop. And I'm telling you, that director, the person that's making this game, he has made it. He has said this numerous times that this game is going to be more story driven, and I have no problem with that. But then you have the naive ones, the cattle, as I call them, the Sony cattle. That just follows anything that some of these other YouTubers say, and they'll say, God of War is what's wrong with having God of War having an excellent story. God of War is always had a great story.
What I will say about that, K Mega, is I really like that movie Logan. You've all seen that, right? The Wolverine movie. Yes. Wolverine's always been a huge action star. He has tons of action, but Logan, they took it a little slow. Like there's lots of action in there, but there's also an intense story. And to me, God of War seems to be going in that direction. So I can't hate on it. Play it.
Hey, Nichols, check it out. I don't call you son because you're mine. I call you son because you shine. I like that shit, brother. Hey,
you guys did. That was supposedly a downgrade to that game, and the developer says no, it's not a downgrade. We just changed some lighting and.
No, I kind of analyzed that. I didn't actually see a downgrade. I actually think they improved it. They did change the lighting a bit, but for the better.
And they added fog to cover the draw distance. So the draw distance is much good in the game.
Like I said, I'm a very shallow man. I would take beauty before brains any day of the week, right? Mm-hmm. That fight scene when he's fighting, I don't know what the hell these skeletons, demons, whatever the hell they are. Leonard the Living Dead. He takes that axe off his back on with just shield and he throws it out there.
You're gonna see that damn skeleton probably a million times.
Come on,
they'll talk bad about Rise.
Hey, I'm just saying though, you know what I mean? And that one scene,
troll running around.
Look, in that one scene when he's in the boat with the little bastard, and he throws the axe out there, and it comes back to him like Thor. Like, come on, man.
Come on. So, but the part where the little kid come, I got you, rah. Yes, get him, Dad.
No, in the second trailer, the kid came through. The kid wasn't in the second trailer.
He's shooting a bow and arrow.
The kid was getting mad, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna tell him that he's the god because the kid's like starting to get out of control like his dad." Man, I think it's gonna.
He's like, I'm mad. I'm angry. He wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Anyway, look, I'm getting the game too because unlike a lot of PlayStation cattle fans, I support games that I talk about because that's just what I do.
For sure, but it would be ignorant to not bring up that this is a huge departure from the other God of War games, and you're perfectly fine to not be labeled a fanboy if you bring up these departures and say, hey, I'm a little bit worried about this direction, but I'm still going to play it, you know? Like, that's my concern all the way. I have every single God of War game, even on the PSP, the remasters, the remaster of the remaster of the remaster.
Yeah.
I have all that stuff. The collector's edition remastered, you know, the collector's edition of Ascension, probably the worst one of the bunch, but still, you know what I mean? Like, so I think
but to be fair, the last one did poorly.
Yeah,
it kind of was due for a change.
They threw they threw a multiplayer component.
That's where you know they always run out of ideas, is when they instead of just taking their time and just waiting until they come out with a proper story and everything else, they always want to keep it while the iron is hot and then bring out a prequel, like prequels is going to do.
I don't know that.
There's a war.
That game was only like it was extremely short though. You could beat it in like 4 to 5 hours.
I remember they had there was
one aspect is what they were trying to go for, and that angle that did not work.
I know they had to. It was a bunch of complaints from fans. Period. With that, I forgot that trial you had. I couldn't beat it my damn self. I love God of War. They had to tone it down the difficulty a little bit. That shit was like brutal. I always get to the last one, the trials or something.
The main thing that I didn't like about that game was the camera angle. Sometimes was like
that's what all the God of Wars.
I know, but this one in particular would pan out and you'd look like an ant. And like you were like, what? Where? You know what I mean? It was like hard to control or whatever. Like
that's the
because the enemy's so big.
Yeah. That's why I was happy with the camera angle change. Right? I'm like, hey, that's cool. But also a big part of God of War was like the platforming and puzzle solving, and that's like completely out of the game now. You know, so that's a big difference. I'm sure it'll be a fine game. I'm just saying.
I believe God of War for the, I'll be honest with you, I play God of War for the action, the over-the-top combos.
You better be there to it's going to be a novel, man. You're going to have some action. There will be action. There's no doubt.
I'm just saying, what the action that I did see, that first trailer when you was with your son and shoot him now, and he missed it there, and the deer takes off, and you bring down that, I don't know what the hell you call this, the big monster.
Goat's Gruff. That was Billy Goat's Gruff under the bridge.
Fucking log behind his neck and shit. You bring him down and crack his horns. Like, oh my god, like Kratos is such a badass, man. You know what I mean?
No, Kratos has always been a badass. It's just look, okay. Another thing too that I get accused for is look. I mean, and I'm a God of War fan. I should be able to say how I feel. It's just like when anybody says something to me about Halo 5 and how they don't like that. It's your opinion. If you played the game and you didn't like it, that's your opinion. But I like the control of when I'm doing my sequences on devastating my character. This is completely different. You hit those two buttons and get them in rage mode, and then it goes into its own sequence of how the enemy gets destroyed. Even though it looks pretty, but again, I kind of liked having that button sequence to how I was devastating the character. You see what I'm saying with with the QTEs, that. I don't know why they took that out, but they did. So we'll just see. I mean, saying, like I said, the game has the potential to be the game of the year, or it could be 2018's Andromeda.
I already tell you right now, Red Dead Redemption is gonna get game of the year. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be no Sony game, that's for sure.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying it has the potential to be that good though, to where it could be a nominee.
Oh, well, for sure, man. PlayStation game, PlayStation fans, every game is game of the year to them. Man, come on.
Oh,
man, Gravity Rush 2, Game of the Year. Neo, Game of the Year. Persona 5, Game of the Year.
Crash Bandicoot.
Game of the Year. Yakuza. Game of the Year.
At one point, it was No Man's Sky for Game of the Year, so we gotta remember that.
Wow. You're not allowed to
Come on. People were hyping it up like that at one point, and then it came out.
The original trailer that they did for No Man's Sky, it did get me hyped, but then they did that comparison video with like the Jurassic Park music and then what the monsters are they look like.
I gotta be real.
It still cracks me up, dude. It's so bad.
I never was sold on that game. I never knew what it was about.
They really misled you. It's about nothing, right? Because that's the thing.
This whole gen, man.
That's the thing, right? Like unlike most games or whatever, they're like, you explore and you explore with your friends. As they flat out lied and told you that you can play with your friends.
Of running into somebody is never ever. But those guys did it in the first 36 hours or something.
Yeah, and then they couldn't see each other or anything. So yeah, it was a big scam.
Yeah,
and that's actually
put a sticker over the piggy thing, right?
Yeah. So the funny part was that when that was a big debacle going on, that's about the time that Adam Boyes left. So yeah, I mean, he was the guy that was really championing all those indies and those big third-party deals and stuff with Sony. And so now you see that that's not a big deal to them. So it's definitely an interesting situation for sure.
Yeah.
And already in the chat, there's somebody that's talking about MPD. That's all that matters to them. Doesn't matter if the game could just be 2 hours long, but as long as it wins that MPD, damn it, that's all they care about.
Oh shit, is it?
Yeah, that's all that they care about.
They love counting their consoles, but they don't like buying games.
Right.
I mean, they sit there and talk about like how they have all these great games, but they don't buy them. Hellblade, apparently a great game. I haven't played it. It looks awesome. I love Ninja Theory as a developer. I'd love to play it.
Hellblade's a great game. Fantastic game.
They're just not selling. They sat there and championed Lawbreakers and Cliffy B. Like, oh, Cliffy B's a PlayStation guy now. What happened? Nobody bought it in that game.
Cliffy B regrets that shit.
PUBG.
They love
PUBG. That's what he said.
But they don't fucking support their games. Like, I'm a gamer and I love games, but I mean, I can't play everything. I'm not gonna lie. Like people buy shit and don't play it. People.
I just, you know what? It's not. It's people. We're adults. Just be wrong. You know, everyone has. You know, you sorry bastards have a job. I don't have a job. I'm getting city welfare. But anyway, I said this. I'm
living off things that fall off trucks. Got it.
You go. I don't have the time as I used to sit and play games all day. I don't. If I get in 2 hours or 3 hours every other day, or like I did a stream. What was it, Saturday? Monster Hunter, right? A stream for like 3 hours. Played maybe it was like 25 minutes Sunday. I didn't touch the game today and probably won't. You know what I mean? I just don't have the time. You know what I mean? Just the game. Oh, I can't do it no more. You know what I mean?
I got to take breaks. I mean, like I played, since that's my situation. Like if I'm got time to play like that, I got to take some breaks though. I mean, I played DBZ from when I woke up. Like I got up at like 6:30 and I got up and got started playing like at 7:45 that morning and didn't stop playing. Well, took some breaks in between, but didn't stop until like 11:30 last night. And I was just like, how the hell could I do that? How the hell did that do that? Like, I mean, and there's no way. If I had to go to work, if I had to go to work today, there would have been no way. So it's a whole different type of thing now. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got work, you got other obligations, you got family. You know, you just put in the time that you can.
Yeah, I actually stay up a little bit later now than I normally would because of the PUBG. I'm always like, well, let's do one more round of that. You know what I mean? And then you get slapped around or you get close and then you're like, well, let's try one more. You know, that's one of those games that kind of sucks you. That's how it happens to me, you know? It's like, oh, well, we jumped in. There was too many people around right away. So we died early on, you know, so let's go ahead and try again. You know, that's basically what happens. And so those are the type of games that I enjoy. Well, I'm a big multiplayer guy. I like single player stuff too, but multiplayer for me is where it's at. I've even been playing a lot of Battlefront 2 online, man. I love that multiplayer, man. It's so good. It's a
great game.
It gets so much shit for stuff that's not even in there right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh man, the star cards, and it's like, I don't have any star cards, man, and I'll slap people around all day.
Right, and you don't have to pay money for it. You just
you just earn it,
and you'll earn it. I don't understand it. Yeah, it's in there, and yeah, the way that they tried to pull it out, I totally agree. People getting pissed off, but if you just play the game and you can still earn the same stuff, man. I mean,
and all the DLC is free in that game, and they announced this before the debacle of these loot boxes. They said all that stuff is going to be free. So I don't know, man. I enjoyed the game. I played a lot. I
played a lot too. Me and my buddy Grave were like, why is everybody bitching about this game? Because we always get in the top couple of people on our team and almost always win. So it's weird. Hey, next gen 720. How about that? How about that? Next gen 720.
What?
Oh, next gen 720. Oh, how about that? How about that Nintendo Switch next gen 720?
Listen, I blame Obama for that shit. There are a lot of same-sex marriages going on. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Hey, listen, man, that shit ain't for me.
I know it's not for you, but you got to admit that this is a good sign because the new Call of Duty, which is supposedly leaked to be Black Ops 4,
and you know what?
That's going to get a Switch version.
Let me tell you something. Listen, let me tell you something. Real shit. Hear me out. And if that is true, right? Hear me out. If that's true, and it's coming, right? Unless they're going to make their own separate, you know, Activision's cheap with that. That means that's going to be a dog shit Call of Duty, and the Switch is holding back the PS4 and the Xbox.
Well, no, it's going to be a ported version, so they're going to port it just like Doom. I mean, they basically have the same version of Doom that we have, but it's a lesser frame rate and less graphical capabilities. So they just scale the stuff down. They're going to have the same version. They're just going to scale it down. I mean,
why would you want to buy that then?
Because I mean, look, some people are going to play. I don't know.
You know what?
I don't play my Switch on the go to begin with. I'm not going to get Call of Duty on the Switch, but I'm just saying.
How will it run though? That's the thing, because we got the Switch for the kids over the holidays, and man, some of those games like NBA, well, NBA is not as bad, but like WWE, like some of those games, the frame rate is just horrible.
Yeah, because that's supposed to be a 60 FPS game, and it's and it drops all over the place. But it's still
appeal for it though.
For me personally, that just proves that people are really and developers are going in on the Switch now. Whereas before they were like, we'll wait and see, and now they're like, yeah, let's go ahead and put it in the Switch, man. That thing's got 15 million sold already. It already outsold the Wii U in less than a year.
That right. And listen, and not to be Debbie Downer, hear me thing. And I'm looking at the glasses as being half empty, right? Check it out, right? And it may be a huge Broadway success like the fucking Wii. Yeah. We all can agree that the
Wii
I
predicted.
The Wii was a dog shit console. It was. And they did have a bunch of developers flock into it to make a bunch of fucking shovelware.
Yeah, there was a ton of shovelware. But I got to also point out, there was some really good games for that as well, though.
The ones that were made, well, like Capcom, I think with the Killer. So they had a couple games that were made well. You know what I mean?
There was actually some Sega ones as well that were actually pretty good on there as well. So I have a good collection of Wii. I don't play that shit, but I can remember sinking a lot of time into that years ago.
Here's the question, though, Crap. Here's the question, right? Now, we can all agree that the Switch is a 9th generation console. And according to Nintendo, that the Switch is not the successor to the 3DS. They're still coming out with a successor to the 3DS, right? Why?
Yeah, well, they say they're still supporting the 3DS because it's and why wouldn't they? Because it's up over.
Yeah, I know, but they said they were coming out with a successor.
Yeah, they probably will. We might even see it this year. So.
But when the next Xbox comes out, Xbox and Eternity Gauntlet Grip, and the PlayStation 5 comes out, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 9th generation console like the Wii. I'm sorry, like the Switch, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Now, again, that console is going to hold back damn sure those two consoles.
I don't know if it's going to hold them back, because anybody that's really interested in getting their game on there will have to port it down. Like this thing says that the people, hold on. Let's see. It makes it sense for it to be on the Nintendo Switch. The port seems like a no-brainer. The console's runaway success, and the fact that many Call of Duty games in the past have appeared on the console. Mm-hmm. Furthermore, there's actually evidence to back up these rumors. Previously, the voice actor for Black Ops character Frank Woods confirmed Black Ops 4 while talking to a fan on Twitter, and there was also a job posting and also evidence that the team that's going to port it to the Switch has ported Call of Duty games before. So it could be, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a different studio. Like the Treyarch's not going to do the game for the Switch. Like Treyarch will give it off to somebody else. Just like, remember how Titanfall launched on Xbox One and Xbox 360? Bluepoint did the 360 version, right? They're the ones that did this new what the hell's this game with the giant monsters, that remake that everybody's like crazy.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus. So Bluepoint, who do like porting specifically and stuff, they're the ones that did the Titanfall 360 port, which is really good. They also did the Nathan Drake collection port. So that's kind of their thing. And that's basically what's going to happen. You're going to get a studio that ports it, maybe Beanox or something. I don't know. And they're the ones that are going to port it to the Switch. I think it's cool for the simple fact that, you know, it keeps gaming fresh and alive, and you got different options for everybody. Most people are going to have everything, and I like that. You know, I think that's pretty cool. You know,
and in all honesty, Call of Duty does not look that great, especially on the base console. I remember playing World War II on my Xbox One S. I thought it looked horrible in that beta.
Oh, and then the X, it looks amazing. Yeah,
the X looks great, but on my original S.
Hey, but did you hear that even though we have the X, Call of Duty World War II, the best place to play is PS4 according to Sony in their advertising.
Well, they get those DLC, so
I mean, how is like
loopholes?
Hey, you know what? Also, they got Battlefront 2 is the best place to play. What, they don't get shit for that.
Oh, you might have a point there.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, false advertising, right? False advertising, bitches. But nobody cares because it's Sony. Yeah. Come on. If Microsoft was doing that, people would be all up in arms.
Yeah, and also with Nintendo, they also said on Polygon that in the report from Polygon that this system is going to be 5-6 years, even longer. before they decide to want to make another. So that's really going to be crazy as well, because if they go to 6 years, by that time we know that the PS5 and that the new Xbox will be available.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like,
I can see Z's point, and I know that in Crap is saying exactly what they're going to do. They'll just make games for the Switch, but at some point, when will the Nintendo gamers have some fatigue of like, well, come on, we need to have these graphics to look a little bit stepped up, especially for the things that's we're going to be coming down the line.
I'll tell you when, in like 3 years, like we've been down this road before. Nintendo has no qualms in abandoning their hardware and just going with the next thing. So I would expect the Switch 2 to come out probably close to when these next consoles will be coming out.
And maybe they will make this an advanced Switch, because we already have a PlayStation 4 Pro, we got an X. I mean, who's to say Nintendo won't make a more advanced Switch?
Yeah. Switch 1080p? Bro. Come on, bro.
I don't know.
I mean, I can
you never know.
No. That makes sense. That seems like the Nintendo way, but I mean, when will the Nintendo fans actually start getting tired of that?
They never will, and I'll tell you why. It's because the games that they like are on that platform,
and they're the exclusives. That's why.
And that's what they like. Nintendo.
Look, man, I made a very foolish bet. I said there's no way Mario could beat out Call of Duty, and look what happened in December. That's the biggest L I've ever had.
Look at cardboard. Everybody, well, I'm not down on the cardboard, but a lot of people are down on the cardboard. And I said, you know what? I'm not gonna.
I wasn't down on it because it wasn't meant for us.
And the cardboard is getting rave reviews.
I'm getting the cardboard myself. Let's do it, Labo.
Oh my god!
And I hope he's full of fucking Mountain doing it. You fat bitch.
You know what? When I actually saw the cardboard though, and I got to understand it, like I saw one contraption like. The kid kind of made like a racer, like a sit-down racer.
It's weird, bro.
And he's moving he made the cardboard like the steering wheels, and then the screen is like, the screen, and when he turns it, it turns. And like for a kid, like we're grown adults, but for a kid, that's pretty cool for them.
He could do that for his daughter. He's got a young daughter.
I will listen. I listen. I tell you, look, okay, the Johnson family is doing okay. All right, we're not scratching our pennies together, right? If Maya comes to me and said, "Dad, I want to switch," I'm fine. And she wants some cardboard for $80 fucking. No, thank you.
You better go to Walmart.
Better get your ass in there, bro.
I tell you what,
Walmart.
You trace it onto some other cardboard.
I'm not even. I got an F in arts and crafts. No fucking way. I'm not doing all that shit.
Man, I'll say this on next gen. If any company can sell cardboard at $80, no less, it's Nintendo, okay?
Yeah.
This is for the suburban kids,
But they're kids. I spill shit. Look at you should see my desk. I got coffee stains every goddamn where. Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
You gotta go out and buy another one, bro.
No, who gonna put a warranty on that though?
Yeah, I was saying, what store? You better put a warranty, because every gadget I get, I put a warranty.
It'll teach these kids to be responsible with their things.
Oh shit! Come on.
Let me get some more crap. You got Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah, I have Monster Hunter.
I have not seen you playing it. I just streamed it for 2 hours. Now, see, it's the number one goddamn
I played it
game.
for about 2.5, 3 hours.
I did too. You know what? I'm gonna say this right. I'm gonna do a video on this. But it's the first Monster Hunter game I ever played. If I was to play that game by myself, I wouldn't enjoy it. I'm being honest. It's just too much.
I mean, it's
too much. It's just, it's just a lot.
It's very complicated.
If you never played a Monster Hunter game before, and this is your first one, and you don't have friends on Xbox Live, you're not next gen people to help you out and stuff, and fuck it, right? It's a lot to do. You got to sharpen the goddamn knife. Eat it. It's too fucking much. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, my friend brought me to that cafe. They got to eat this ramen. I'm like, what?
It's hardcore. Yeah,
it is hardcore. Now, I've only been playing it by myself. I have not played it. I have not played it with anybody yet. I'm looking forward to it. No, I haven't played it with anybody yet. But
you played it all.
I've gotten to this big ass dinosaur. I got to the Pookie. That's where I'm at right now.
Yo, he gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm at the Pookie. But
Pookie,
okay,
Pookie.
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend, what she had.
Oh,
dang. Now he has 6 months to live. I'm sorry. What happened now?
Bruh, that's why I'm sick. Anyway, so no, but yeah, if it wasn't for my knowledge of playing other RPGs, I would be completely lost. And I'm still lost in some places, because when I was fighting that big ass iguana, I was like why is my blade? I said, I need stuff for my blade. And I looked, I said, oh, I got the rhinestone stuff. And so I had to run off somewhere and sharpen my blade
it's hard,
and all that.
man.
But
Yo,
I didn't even know
I'll be honest.
jump on the creature. I didn't know you could jump on the creatures until I seen somebody playing it. And I said, you could jump on the damn thing. So I didn't even know that.
First, upgrade the equipment, forge it, add. It's just
I've upgraded my equipment.
Now, now, listen, when I was running with some people, you know, shout out to no one of those guys. And Goose, and actually Goose gifted me the game. It's fun when you're playing with people that know how to play it, tell you what to do. Because I would have no fucking clue. I'm gonna be honest, I ain't playing this shit no more.
You shoot. Let me guess. You shooting a gun, aren't you?
No, I was throwing some rocks. I didn't know how to pick up my gun. I was throwing some stones. You know what I mean? But and also too, I want to say this too. I wish Sony, Capcom would have made it easier. Just make the goddamn game co-op, not get to a certain cutscene. Make the whole goddamn game, co-op. And you know, man, I didn't like that either. You know what I mean? You gotta wait to get to a certain point, then you gotta send an SOS. Like, come on, god damn. Let somebody hop in the game and join me. Let's go out there and just tear some shit up. You know what I mean? And also the targeting, the combat. Like, I got this big dumbass fucking, swinging it.
There's a lock on him.
Target him. I know he locked him. I still be missing that big ass sword.
That is such a lost market. I don't understand why they don't make most of these games co-op. Honestly, there's no reason for it not to be.
Yeah,
I think the next one will be.
It's a very hardcore game. Like, I enjoyed it for the bit that I played, but I can already tell it's not a game that I'm going to be able to finish or like sink into for long periods of time, because that game is a time killer. And I could always be like, whenever I'm playing that or a game that's like that, I'm like, I could be on PUBG. You know what I mean? Or, at the time I was like, oh, Sea of Thieves is out, man. I want to get as much time in that as I can.
You know what's funny?
That's just how I think of it.
As somebody that was on the fence about Monster Hunter, like, I think the art style looks really cool, and it looks like something.
It's not a bad game. I don't want to turn you off. It's not a bad game.
You guys talk about how, like, you got to go sharpen your sword and this, that, and the other thing. You guys are, like, not selling me on it. Like, it's making.
Hey, bro, let me tell you this, right? Real shit, right? And I put the fucking C in cash, sometimes the C in Caucasian, right? Fucking, it's not a bad game. It's not. And especially if you run it, we all get in together and have fun, we're gonna have a fucking blast. You know what I mean? Kicking shit, picking up, finding stuff. That part is fun. You know what I mean? If you're in there and because I don't like to read, when they show you tutorial, I had A pass all that shit. And I had people in the live stream helping me out, right? By yourself, you probably won't enjoy it. I don't know what you might not enjoy it because it is a lot to do. But if you're running with a crew, like, hey, Chris, I just people hop in, like, people love that game. You know what I mean? I believe one was on the Xbox, but we only released in Japan. So this is the first one that I ever played before.
And I did a video about it. Like, it's the #1 paid Xbox game right now. Like, and there's such a rumor around Xbox fans that we only buy shooters. This should help dispel that. We buy everything. It doesn't really matter what it is, and hopefully the developers wake up and see that Xbox fans and Xbox in general is viable for Japanese games. And for other games, even if they don't appeal to me, I'm never going to say, hey, don't put your game on the platform, because I realize there's more than just me who game on the platform. And I think that there's a large contingent of people that would play it, and seeing the game be #1 on the top paid. Man,
doesn't Dark Souls do good on Xbox?
It's not as good as PlayStation, but it does well. People play it on there, so I mean, yeah, there's a home for those type of games on Xbox.
It's a good game though. I mean, it's not bad. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, even Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I never been to the Dragon Ball series.
That game's fire
with that. I don't know anything about no Dragon Ball.
I don't either.
People were talking about it, and they're like, Dragon Ball this, and I'm like, I don't know.
Hold up. Do you like Marvel vs. Capcom? Yeah. Do you like that?
Exactly.
No, I liked it on the Dreamcast. I haven't messed with the newer ones.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I still have my Dreamcast version around here somewhere. So yeah, I liked it then. I don't like it now. The fighters that I like now is like Killer Instinct, and I like the new Mortal Kombat. I got the new Injustice. Those are pretty good. I like those games. They're pretty good.
Injustice.
I think you would like it too, because it plays excellent, but it is more for the hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan. Yeah, but it is also for fighter. It is also for fighter fans too, because the fighting, although it's simple, you still have to master it. There's still some intricate gameplay mechanics to it, even though it is simple,
Yeah,
but you gotta play that multiplayer, because I don't like that single player at all. Like, Mega, did you even like it that much? You beat it.
Okay, Mega.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
He's popping some something, man. He's like, let me
30 hours into it. So I mean, you're not gonna play a game for 30 hours that you hate.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Get 30 hours into the campaign. Wow.
That's what he said.
30 hours, really?
Unless I misheard him.
Wow.
Oh. I know he also
it's like a whole show, right?
Yeah. Well, did he? I've never seen the show, so I don't know. But he also beat that other. He put a lot of time in. What the hell's that other fighting game that came out?
Oh god, you talking about One Piece?
No, not that one. Tekken. Yeah, he also put a lot of time in Tekken.
Yeah. The 2 frames per second mode.
It's all about that UFC, baby. That's a real fighter.
I haven't played it.
Can you hear me now?
There you are.
Now we hear you.
Oh yeah. No, I put close to 30 hours into it. The first 2 stories was okay. The first one with the good guys, it was okay. It dragged on because it was doing a lot, because you have to do a lot of tutorial stuff in there to gain your stuff. But when you get to the villains, that gets dope because the interactions that you have, especially when you get further in there, it gets pretty dope. And then
I'm at Android 21, like I just met her. Does it get good from there?
Okay, you on that?
I'm not that far into it yet.
No spoilers. No spoilers, but yeah, that part gets really interesting too. I like the whole thing, how she's so goofy acting. I'm so hungry. Anyway, but like, but when you get to
what the hell you guys are even talking about?
But on the Android side, that is dull. It gets really dull for probably 80% of the whole story, and then at the last 20, it picks up. And then it gets pretty good, and it has a cool twist to it, and that's kind of how the reason you get you acquire the Android 21.
Okay, so the story gets interesting.
This is Crap's translation of everything you just said right now.
Yeah. Well, I was asked about it, but it could have been better because it has this campy Japanese type of style, but if you're a DBZ fan,
the dialogue in the beginning's way too cheesy for me. I just started skipping all of it.
Well, no, it's really cool because you can have interactions. Like if there's certain people that you pick, you can have interactions with those characters, and they could have like different talking sequences and stuff. It's pretty cool, man.
How quick did you drop Yamcha? I dropped him immediately.
You guys are losing me here.
Sorry.
All right. Well, other Capcom news.
Sorry.
I don't know about Capcom.
Yamcha's pretty kick ass in the game. Actually, I think I like Yamcha pretty much.
I never really played the fighter for the story. I played the fighter, just the action.
But, you can come get it and get that smoke.
Whatever. I ain't turned down nothing but my collar, brother. You know how I do it. Capcom has canceled a game, rumored or whatever the case, and pulled some funding or something back from the next Dead Rising game.
Yeah, they laid off like 20% of the people at Vancouver Capcom. It's weird because we thought they were doing a little bit better, and now it turns out they're not doing as good.
Dead Rising's in jeopardy now, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they're still gonna make it. They're just scaling it back. So it's like for me, Dead Rising 3 felt much more big budget than Dead Rising 4.
It did.
Even though I still like Dead Rising 4, but I just felt like they really scaled back on that as well.
I think they screwed up putting it in Christmas.
Yes.
They should have never put the game in just Christmas, because it just something playing Dead Rising 4 in May and playing it in Christmas time, man, it just kind of kills it for me.
I don't know about you guys. I just can't get into Dead Rising. Like, to me, it's just boring. Like, I don't know.
You know what? The first couple weren't great because they had that time limit. I like the third and fourth one quite a bit.
I'll take State of Decay over Dead Rising any day.
What's that?
I'll take State of Decay over Dead Rising any day.
State of Decay is good as well. You know what I mean? State of Decay was a surprise hit. I'm looking forward to it, man. The co-op is more going to be.
And Dead Rising more arcadey. So I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
I just think the gameplay is not interesting. Like you could replace those zombies with like robots, and it's like the same thing to me. Just boring.
Well, it's basically like those old Dynasty Warrior games.
Dude, I like. Well, if you look at Dead Rising 3, they went for a little bit darker, but still had humor, and every zombie looked different than the other one. In Dead Rising 4, they went back to zombies looking all like each other. I didn't like that nearly as much, but I did like some of the combos and stuff. Like
the combo, the weapon crafting is really cool, but the just putting it in Christmas Town and everybody being a friggin' elf, it was just. such a poor decision.
No.
Yeah, I mean, well, Capcom there, maybe you know, the new Mega Man will save them.
No, it won't. It looks cool, but that's the one thing that trips me out is that there are going to be so many people that's excited about it, but I don't see that game is gonna sell.
No,
Number 9 is not that bad.
No, it's not. It's not that bad.
I liked it. It was all right.
It's not, but it's not Mega Man. But
No,
it's okay.
But I mean, it served its purpose because I think what Capcom saw was that people were interested in another side scroll.
Capcom had shit to do with it. It was the other guy, Mighty Man.
No, Mighty Number 9. Capcom saw that, and then they said that's why this new Mega Man's coming.
Yeah,
because they figured, well, let's try to do it the right way, but we all know that it's not going to be great, unfortunately.
Probably not. I mean, you know,
there will never be a better Mega Man than Mega Man 3. Come at me.
Was that an NES title?
Fuck yes, and it was the best Mega Man ever.
I don't remember. I remember playing the first one or the second. Those games were hard, man. I was like,
that's why I didn't like it. It was too
how many did you guys beat? I beat 2.
I might have beat 1 or 2, but
I got a confession. I don't think I would beat a fucking Mario game. I beat Mario 2.
What?
Yeah,
Mario 2 is not even a Mario game.
Yeah,
bro.
that
just jump on top.
Goki Panic.
Yeah, I just take the princess and just float over the whole fucking board, every fucking stage. But yeah, and I think
you could just do the ultimate warp on the first Mario and just go from from the first level to level 7 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah. Come on. Did you guys hear the news that there's going to be a new Mario movie, animated one?
Yep.
They bet not.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm pretty stoked for Nintendo Land at Universal Studios.
You know what? I think it's a good time because everybody's forgotten about that horrible live action Mario movie. Mario now it's going to be a CGI movie. It's perfect. You know what I mean?
What about that Mario TV show back in the day, crap?
With Captain Lou Albano? Hell yeah. Except for they made Luigi seem like a little bitch, and I'm always like a Luigi fan, right? And he's like, oh no, me, Luigi. You know, they make him seem
he's like that in every game, though. Like, when is he ever badass?
Luigi, I give you the back of my hand.
My back of my hand. I'm Italian. I'm a Luigi. Like when you watch him in when you play that damn Luigi's Mansion, and he's always like,
exactly.
Yeah. And I was always more of a Luigi fan because I have an older brother. So whenever we used to play Mario, I always had to be Luigi.
He jumps out
he could jump awesome.
Bitch of a Luigi. He played a badass Luigi.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's cool, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. Anything that
Let me ask you a question, Crap. And listen, you got 3 platforms, right? You got the Xbox, Crap. You got the PlayStation. You have the Switch, right? I know the Xbox is your favorite, right?
Yeah.
But if you had to choose between somebody had to be going Sony or fucking Nintendo, who would you choose?
Sony.
Cut his fucking mic off right fucking now.
The hate is real.
Reason being is
that for shock value? You did
no. Reason being is this, right? Reason being is this: they come out with maybe 2 exclusives a year, maybe that I'll play. Right? I play all my multi-plats on Xbox. You know what I mean? Obviously, I can't stand the online service.
I mean, going out of the world, Crap, ain't no more.
Yeah, gone. I'm fine with that, man. You put a gun on me. You're telling me, dude. This is what you basically did to me. Put a gun in my head. Said, which one do you want? Would you choose to get rid of if you absolutely had to? And I'm saying it would be Sony because I play more. I play more than.
They're gonna chop this video up. Oh my god.
Oh my god. But come on, you gotta think of competition too. Like Sony, you have to admit, pushes Microsoft to do more.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but I'm just saying in terms of
what is Nintendo gonna do? Make them make another Super Lucky's Tale? Like what?
Absolutely, man. I love Super Lucky's Tale, dude.
Super Lucky's Tale is a cool little game. I don't know why you knocking that game.
I got all that. I got all that. I got what is that? I got Connect or that Disney Rush and Disneyland Adventure. I got all that stuff. Exclusive, bro. All of it, man.
Wait, sorry. You said what? You have what exclusive?
Oh man, those big exclusives that came out at the end of the year, man.
You have Disney?
You know, the Zoo Tycoon, Disney Adventures, and Pixar Rush, dude. Hell yeah.
Happy with them?
Oh, for sure, man. Those are
my
those are.
God.
Oh my
those are-
God.
Crapgamer, the master troll.
Oh man, I can't believe if you have crap. Listen, this is what I'm
See,
telling
that
you.
turned that backfired on you.
Out of this, one of these companies is going to be banned to the never realm. They're never going to see him again. You got Microsoft. No, between Sony and Microsoft, you're going to let Sony go to the never realm? Nobody's to the upside
See,
down.
Sony wouldn't want to be.
Never realm.
You know what I mean? Go to the upside down. Don't understand anything. Are you serious?
The hate
Why?
runs deep in Crapgamer.
Just because I think they're too similar to Microsoft with what they do, and so
Actually, you know what? I was speaking about that in my recent video. I think Microsoft, they're kind of similar because Microsoft's kind of looking at more single player stuff, and they should. But man, Microsoft brings that multiplayer. Sony brings that single player. That's a huge difference for me.
yeah, I'm more of a multiplayer guy, so I'm like I'm
Yeah.
happy with the games that do both, like Microsoft's. Like
Mhm,
for me,
Gears of War and
Halo,
Halo.
Gears, fucking badass single player, badass multiplayer. It's not tacked on, you know. And it's,
Oh,
yeah, and then when you look at Sony, they're like badass Uncharted single player, shitty ass multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like they're just known for
Well,
their
they
shitty
said The Last of
multiplayer.
Us multiplayer is all right, but I mean, to
That's
me,
what people
Microsoft would be
say,
saying they
but-
need more games. Yeah, they need an RPG or whatever, but they need that new big three for multiplayer, man. Like you have it with PUBG. If you acquire that, you could get it with, I don't know, maybe Microsoft.
We're gonna
could
get
bring
another
that back.
Fable, so I mean that's pretty cool for me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, you need that next big three, man. When we say new games, we want those next big three hits.
But what I miss, Killzone and Horizon Zero Yawn. Hell no.
but
What I
you miss God of
ET
War.
and- maybe. I mean, we've already been 5 years and they've changed it. So
Let me ask you a
I'll hold
question.
my judgment
Now
until
listen,
after I play.
I
That's
would
all I'm
hate to
saying.
question your integrity. Okay.
Mhm.
God of War 4,
Mm.
Mario Odyssey.
Oh man. Well, Mario Odyssey will sell more and will be higher rated.
So, if you had to choose, one is going to be banned to the upside down. To the number
Oh
one.
man, what's going to be banned to the upside down? Well, can I would have to play God of War before I said which one.
Come on, man. You
like
gotta
a
love
franchise.
Uncharted.
I gotta be honest. Super Mario Odyssey might be one of the finest platformers of all time.
Oh my God! This
So-
Okay, but
God.
oh my!
I'm
You
just
would send
saying.
someone to the Nether Realm because you got Mario.
You can't tell him to banish God of War without playing it yet. I see
That's what I'm saying. Like, like if
I'm
you would
talking
tell
about
me,
franchise.
But look at Sony's backlog, man. They have so many franchises.
yeah, most
You
of them.
sacrifice it
You
for
got-
like
you got
Mario.
The Last of Us coming out.
I don't give a shit about Last of Us. I'd banish that shit to Hades.
Well,
Send it to Hades. Send it
Sony's
to the
got new
Underworld.
IPs.
Send it to
What's
fucking
Nintendo's new
wherever,
IP?
man.
Splatoon?
That's a
Okay,
shit
all right,
IP.
Splatoon?
you know what? All right, crap. Here you go. Now listen again. Choose your answer wisely. The new Spider-Man, right?
Uh-huh.
Or fucking fucking Mario Kart or fucking Zelda or something. Crap.
Zelda, Mario Kart all day.
Hey,
all
watch
day.
it, crap.
Dude, go look at the Zelda. Like, especially, man, some of those, like, Ocarina of Time in those games are classics. Classics.
All right, crap.
Mario
They
Kart
are, though,
Double
man,
Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash is my jam.
No.
Come on, folks.
You
Crap.
need Mario 20.
PlayStation VR or Splatoon 2.
PlayStation VR, I'm keeping that shit. I'll send.
There we
Hades,
go.
man. Come on.
There we go.
Speaking of VR, I noticed an article today. The Black Eyed Peas, they actually have VR and AR comic book that you use through the Samsung Gear, and like it's like got a whole big cast of people, like all the top rappers for like the last 10-15 years, like KRS-One, DMX. There's like so many people in it. It looks really, really intriguing. Look that up when you guys have some time.
Oh,
I just thought I'd throw it out there because VR, I love VR, but if you have to try the VR experiences too, they're just as good as the games.
Yeah.
Well, in a different way, right? But they're just as immersive.
Man, you want Mario over that new Spider-Man?
Dude, yeah. Any day of the week,
What?
man. Mario? Yeah.
What?
Any day, man.
All right.
Well, dude, this is all I can only speak for myself. You know,
Yeah,
like I
I
can't
don't know,
speak for
man. I'm
anybody
just picking
else.
your brain.
I'm just saying, like for me personally, I like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Love those games. Mario 3D Land. That fucking love that game. You know, the Mario games are amazing. You know, Spider-Man, I'm sure it's gonna be a good game. but it's a Spider-Man game. You fly around, you do some QTEs, and you're done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, and Mario, we're just platforming.
Spider-Man might be dope, but man, I don't know. The overhype of when you're talking about something that
Shit.
Yeah, no, I gotta go with crap on that, especially with The Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? For how I'm telling you, I know I have not beat it, and I'm not.
I couldn't beat it.
I don't like it.
It was so boring. It was so repetitive.
Yeah, I didn't care for it either. I will have a confession to make. I didn't really care for The Last of Us either.
Thank you.
Dude, exactly. You know what? And here's the thing.
I'm like, everybody's telling me this is the best game ever.
Somebody got fired for giving it a 7.5, which that game's a 7.5 all goddamn day.
Yeah.
I will say this about us. I enjoyed the game for what it was. Decent story, but push X to zoom. Come on.
Dude,
I'm like, look,
here's the thing. Okay, I'm playing. What game am I playing? Help this girl across the river by letting her float on this fucking piece of wood. Oh, distract this thing by throwing a rock. Throw a bottle. Throw a rock. Throw a bottle. Here's 3 bullets. Aim really shakily at 10 clickers. You know what I mean? Like, this is the fucking thing that you had to do. It's like, it was so bad. Like, how can anybody like that? I get that they like the story, but watch the shit on YouTube.
Hey, man, you gotta pay the bills. Yes, Cyrus Burke, he prefers Mario over Spider-Man.
Oh, Last of Us was amazing. I don't know, man.
I didn't like it.
And I'm not.
I was on the edge of my seat for that game, man.
I see people say they were, and I mean, and that was one of the all day always was throwing down my throat like you can't play. And I sat there and I tried to play that game, and it just lost my interest.
Yeah.
I was like,
I tried to play it both on the PS3. I was like, okay, I'm gonna really hunker in and put my mind to it, and I couldn't do it. And then I got the remaster, and I tried to play it again. I'm like, this time.
Who's the main guy? Crap, is it Neil Druckmann that's kind of behind those games?
Yeah, Neil Druckmann. Yeah. The other guy left.
I will say this: I do get sick of his repetitive stuff because Uncharted 4 is all about that crate. You remember that?
Yeah,
the crate everywhere.
I said that, and people are like, "You're just nitpicking crap," and they even make fun of the crates themselves.
That is not nitpick, guys.
Like, hey, there's these rolling crates in ancient ruins everywhere. As a,
I was like, there's no way there's a crate here. There's a crate.
I got a question for the guys. Anybody that liked The Last of Us, I want to see if you guys think the same thing that I did. I found fighting the humans and dealing with them was more interesting than anything having to do with the clickers.
You know what? I'm gonna say this honestly.
Who of clickers?
Last of Us. They drove me at the beginning of when the game first started. They strung out the heartstrings a little bit when the game first started. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm playing this shit for about an hour, and I was like, oh man.
I don't know.
But
I can't speak on that game much.
Very fucking repetitive.
I
didn't care. I said that, and people look like I was crazy. And that wasn't crazy. I never really cared for any of the Uncharted games, but I liked 4. Believe it or not,
I liked all the Uncharted games.
I didn't care for them. I thought they were very cheesy.
I thought 2 was really good.
They were. Here's the thing: 2 was maybe one of the best games of last generation.
None of those shits. But 4, I like.
2 was one of the best, right? Because that team really went all out to do it. 3 wasn't as good in my opinion. 4 I liked, but people were like, "Oh my god, it's just like life-changing experience," and I was like, "I don't really see it," but I still liked it. And then the DLC, I gotta admit, I didn't really like that at all with Chloe and the other girl.
You didn't like that?
I didn't get to try the DLC.
I'm planning on getting it.
To me, I'll just tell you. I didn't like the open map world or whatever. Like, I think they did that to make the game last longer because it's DLC, right? And they're like, we want this to be a standalone. How can we do that? Well, make them like have to have this world and go around in a Jeep instead of just going a cutscene to your next place, right? So to me, that was just a way for them to extend the playtime. And so I didn't like it as much. And those characters, they aren't as funny with the banter as Nathan and Sully. You can just tell that Nathan and Sully would have been better at bantering back and forth and the fun factor, Like, for me, I didn't like it. Also, I want to point out this. Uncharted 4, one of the biggest things that I hated about it, besides the crates, was the fact that his brother, as an Uncharted fan, I felt like a little bit slap in the face, my intelligence, because they bring out his brother when it was stated in other Uncharted games that he's an only child.
That's what I wanted to talk about, crap. Like, okay, so I never played the other Uncharted, and so maybe this is why, but I love the game. I think the gameplay is fantastic, but the story is so boring. I thought Mooch was exaggerating, but no, you're literally watching movies of cutscenes throughout the whole thing.
That's
what
the
whole
I
thing with his brother. That was boring. I don't like his brother.
Yeah, his brother's an asshole.
Yeah, I really.
And where the hell did he come from?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't get to play the game, so I can't speak on it. but
No, there's no bias because I mean, there's a lot of great story PlayStation games out there. I mean, like I said, God of War is one of my favorite. It's in my top 3 of my favorite franchises of all time.
yeah, I'm picking up that God of War bundle.
Yeah,
Personally, for me, the only reason why I own a PlayStation is for Naughty Dog. It's for like the Uncharted.
I
and
own
The
it
Last
for
of Us.
VR now.
Well, I mean, I thought
That's the reason why I had a PS3 because in the PS3 days, I barely touched my PS3, man. I was on Xbox 360 day and night. But when Uncharted came out, I wanted it. It looked great, you know, and it actually took advantage of the cell processor because nobody could program for it back then. So those games actually looked fantastic.
You know why?
That's why I have a PlayStation.
I got a PS3 because they had Metal Gear. I'm a big, like, it's probably something a lot of people don't know. I'm a big Metal Gear, or I was a Metal Gear fan. And then so I got a PS3 because I was like, man, I can't wait for that Metal Gear to come out. So I paid the $599 US.
brutal.
And but it basically I the only game that I played on my PS3 for the first year or so was backwards compatible PS2 games because it upscaled them and super sampled them. It was like a phenomenal piece of hardware. I used to play Battlefront 2 online on the PS2, but on my PS3, and I'd have like a major advantage doing that. And so then I played what is it, Guns of the Patriots, and I'm like, why did they write this? You know, they really backed themselves in the corner with Snake, where he's old, and so I didn't really like it. And then this next one, where it's open world, I like that even less. Like, they ruined the franchise for me.
Yeah, Snake Eater was pretty wild for me.
I like Snake Eater.
I think the worst one was Sons of Liberty. It wasn't happening. That was a reality world.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I don't know.
Dog shit.
Well, no, the one that came on the PlayStation 3 was one where you go up and those fucking robots that sounded like cows.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, what is this? This is wild. And then you had to like a 40-minute just trailer. It felt like you was watching a trailer of a movie.
Yeah, sometimes
you got into some action. I'm like, what's going on?
You know what? To be honest with you, I at the Sons of Liberty, I liked the Metal Gear for the first PlayStation 1. Remember that one?
Yeah, that was the first game that I ever stayed up all night and beat.
Like, that was dope. Yeah. But then Sons of Liberty, the story threw me off. And then Splinter Cell came out. Yeah. And I was like, fuck. Metal Gear was nice. But
I always liked Snake. You know, I thought he was a cool character, and it was like I liked. I liked 3 because out there though. Here's the thing, even though people are like, crap hates PlayStation, I always thought that PlayStation 2 at the end of its life got some amazing games. The first God of War and Metal Gear Solid 3 came at the end, and they totally redid the engine for Metal Gear 3. And it was like took the place in Vietnam and stuff, and it was so refreshing. I love that game. I thought it was fantastic. And God of War 1, that game came out after I think the 360 was already out. So it was like a good reason to kind of go back and play and play on that. And there was nothing on PS3. You know, so, other than Resistance, which I really did like Resistance as well, but, they kind of ruined that franchise for me with the next one. And now there's the Metal Gear Solid Survive or whatever that looks okay. But, I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those franchises that's dead.
Games like Parasite Eve, I don't know if a lot of people played that game.
I love dope shit, throwback, classic.
Those games like that, those had really crazy, wild stories. Now, I didn't like fighting the boss at the end because it turned into fucking 20,000 damn creatures, but the story was great though. And when you play games like Mass Effect and go through that whole trilogy, those type of games spoil you. You play Lost Odyssey, or if you go back to even to one of my favorite stories in all gaming is Final Fantasy X. With that shit with Titus in them and the story of Sin, I thought that was perfection.
Hold on 1 second, nigga. Gotta pay the bills. Shout out to my brother from the Broadband Billy's Gear Squad, Aldrich. Shout $5 in the super chat. Good podcast, boys. Appreciate it, my man. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No, you good. And
Broadband Bullies, where we lose the people.
Hey, we didn't lose. Hey, give me your Xbox.
And then when you play when I see
oh man, you guys ran with Goku, dude. If you guys run with anybody else, we probably would have won.
Hey, we had to fight against PC players, man.
Yeah.
Hey man, that was your guys' bad, man.
I said I did it for the culture.
It just didn't do it for me. I'm gonna give it another run though, but you know what I'm saying, it just didn't do it for me. And Uncharted 4 is cool, but I need to go back and I need to finish 3 because I never beat 3 and I never beat the first one. So I might as well. I beat 2. That's the only one that I've beaten. So I got to go back and I need to go through and just start from scratch so I could get a full of Uncharted. But I like Beyond Two Souls. I thought that was cool. But I'm telling you, for this year, for me, Detroit is that game that I'm more excited. Is more excited about. Well, Detroit is the main game that I'm excited about. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Days Gone. That looks trash to me. That just looks like another clone for everything else that Sony's doing.
Even this year, have they even said anything about it?
I don't even care. That's not even nowhere on my radar.
I think it's coming out this year. I played a copy of it. It looks pretty much done. So.
Oh really? Well, it's still not even on my radar. I'm not buying that trash.
I'm talking about Detroit.
Oh! I thought you were talking about no. Detroit looks like that's going to be my favorite PlayStation game because the way that those stories are compelling and everything, I'm really excited about Detroit, and that could be my game of the year.
I've played it, and like I said, it's fantastic. But the thing that really sold me on this game, why I'm going to support it, is when they came out and said it's a game made by adults for adults. I love that stance. I respect that, and I'm going to support the game for that because you know what? I want some mature content. I want some different stuff. I want some real world situations in my games. You know, I want to play my games like I watch my movies
with robots.
And lasers.
But my most played game, of course, is going to be Sea of Thieves and Crapgamer.
Listen, I got to maybe play it to get into it. I'm just not sold on Sea of Thieves yet. I'm not.
You have to.
I will get you on that bow, and you will get into it. Okay,
I got you. You have to play it. It's almost like how we say VR. You have to experience it to really know what it's about.
I'm gonna give it the credit like I gave PUBG. I wasn't interested in PUBG. It wasn't until I played it that I got it. You know what I mean? And maybe Sea of Thieves, aka the Slave Simulator. Maybe I have to play it and to get it. You know what I mean? So
I was watching I was watching a couple of streams and there's different ways you can play that game. Of course, you can go plunder and just kill everybody you want. And I saw someone else, they took an interesting approach. They went and just recruited as many people as they could. And they had 10, 15 people on their ship. And then they went and just killed them. I
don't even like the treasure hunting that much, looking for the clues on that, but the ship battles are bar none. Oh my God.
It's so good. And here's the funny thing, they released the statistics, right? Over 330,000 people played the beta, which is insane. Yeah. And on top of that, they had was over 2 million hours into the game. And they also released its statistics and a high number of people just took the single boat out by themselves. So even though it's a game that I thought maybe wouldn't be fun for a single player, a lot of people were like, it was just relaxing. I took a boat out.
I like going through solo because that's where I took a lot of really nice screen caps of that game.
How did you? I took screenshots and they never showed up.
I just took them and then I upload them to my fucking OneDrive and pop them up on Twitter.
But I'm just saying, I took screenshot after screenshot, and none of them showed up in my thing.
Were you using your Windows phone? That old piece of shit.
No, well, I still have my Windows phone, but I mean, I'm not. Hey, I gotta stay on brand, man. Come on.
Hey, yo, he's the he bleeds green. God damn, he got a Windows phone.
I do. That's why whenever they send me messages, it can't be group messages because my Windows phone doesn't get those on Twitter.
We give up on Windows phone craps. I'm still there with you.
I am, man. Windows phone till it's gone, man.
They wasted so much money acquiring Nokia.
It was for the patents. They got them for the patents. You know what I mean?
But they still paid a hefty price, man. Because I know, yes, they got them for the patents, but they obviously wanted to enter the market, and they thought Nokia could get that.
You know what the problem? No, the Windows phone is. I don't know why they didn't get the apps. Having a cell phone is all about the fucking apps.
And the interface too.
They never ended up having the Snapchats or all the popular.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If I want to go to Instagram, I go to www.instagram.com. Come on, that shit was going to fucking fail.
Yeah, well, they had bootleg Instagram, and
I'm just saying. But come on, you had I had a Windows phone before. Yeah. And I had to go to actually www.facebook.com. What the fuck is this, man?
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, that's probably where it failed for the most part. But
the phone's all about the apps.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah, you're right. But I do have to say that I like the design and stuff much better, to be honest with you.
Which Windows phone you got, Crap?
Some Nokia something 50 or something. I don't know.
You got a Windows 7 phone.
I have
It's a few years old.
I have one. It's more
actually, holy shit! This phone might be 4 years old now.
To say, that thing sounds ancient.
Well, first of all, right? I had a flip phone before this, and because
Crap had a Razor. Crap had a Razor.
I don't remember what the hell one it was. Right? I just had a flip phone. Yeah, I didn't even, because I don't really use them that much. You know what I mean? It was like it was cool. Like so it was like it was. And then my brother, who worked at one of these companies, gave me one for Christmas, a brand new Windows phone at that time, and that was like that was my first smartphone. Yeah. I was like, hell yeah!
Crap is so fucking old school, man. That's what it got.
I am, man. Like,
he's loyal to the core.
You know what? It's so funny though, because I still buy CDs. Right when I was looking for, when I was building my office so that I could have a better place to kind of like to broadcast and stuff like that, and I got a new desk and new monitors, and I was like, you know what, I really need a kick-ass stereo. And my brother's like, a stereo? I'm like, yeah, how come I can't find any stereos anywhere? They're like, because everybody just uses these iPod docks and stuff. I was like, those things are like 20 watts. I want something that's like 1,000 watts. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't anybody have watts anymore? And I got a stereo for my car that I had put in with the CD player and stuff, and people were like, CD player? And I'm like, yeah. I want to fucking crank my CDs, man. I want to, something.
I buy CDs. I enjoy buying.
You have an audio aux so you can at least hook your phone up to.
That's
it.
what I.
Well, the CD is a higher quality than the digital.
It is,
but I just rip them to my computer or whatever, and just have them to keep them, and just put them in, get them on my phone.
So I did. I bought a fucking 1,000-watt stereo, and I told my brother, I was like, I got a good deal on it. He's like, no, they ripped you off because they're like, hey, some sucker bought this ancient technology. And I'm like, nah.
Damn.
Come on, dude. Like, you know what? I like things the way I like it, man. Like for me personally, it's
movies
on the Windows phone though. In all honesty, it's fucking garbage, man. I have one. And the reason why I got one was for dual. It has a dual SIM card in there, so for businesses, right? So I could keep my personal and business phone together, right? I don't think I lasted a month and a half with that phone. It was just horrible. So recently, I bought my girl I don't know, about her S7 last year or something, S8 or S7, I can't remember. One of them I bought her. She smashed it out. I was like, man, to get a new screen for that, it's like mucho dinero right now. Like, yo, let's just wait a couple of months till the phone's not as new, so then I'll get you a new screen for it. So I lent her my Windows phone. Let me tell you, man, it was horrible in this household. That attitude that I got, man, I got shade all the time. I'm not even joking. This is like real talk. She sent me a text. She's like, listen, if you don't fix my phone so I can use my Android phone, we're going to have some serious problems. Yeah, and I had to fix that phone, man. Like the window, their interface is garbage and they don't have no apps. She was upset she had no apps on there. She couldn't do anything.
Oh yeah, that's one thing about these.
See, that's why it doesn't bother me.
They play the hell out those damn games.
I use Twitter and Instagram, and that's it. So I'm good.
D just laid you harder than what he did with K-Meg with a 1050 Ti.
Oh man,
yeah, talk bad about my PC. My old PC doing all right, man.
I said, Meg, what kind of card you got? Meg say, I got the P89 dash.
You just said that with so
like a nuclear launch code or some shit. What the fuck is that? He said,
Speaking of the PC, it just came out today. Me and Crap had like a little spat about some issues on this, but to be honest, he is right. It's easier and it's a better decision right now to get an Xbox One X for gaming than to go on PC. It's just too expensive to build a PC for gaming right now. And then we got some news today that the boards that they make it on, the wafers and all this stuff, it's gonna go up. So there's gonna be a 20% increase on top of what's already on PC right now.
D, you're the tech guy. Can you explain to me why PC got more expensive recently? Like, I wanted to build one, and what happened?
It's just the RAM is more expensive. The power supplies are more expensive, and the GPUs are more expensive.
People are doing the Bitcoin mining and stuff like that, right? So what happens is that creates the demand. Like my buddy Grave. He doesn't have an Xbox One X. He has a boot. He's got a launch Xbox One, right?
Jesus.
Yeah. So, but he has a 1070, right? So I told him, I was like, dude, put that bitch up on eBay, get yourself an X, and then buy yourself some kind of cheaper graphics card because you're not playing anything but League of Legends on PC anyway. You know?
Oh God.
Yeah, because that 1070 right now is such an easy $700. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You got like, if you want like a new GPU, you're like $1,000. If you want like a Vega 64, and it's because of the miners, because this GPU mines well, people are paying like $1,500, $1,600. I even seen some for $2,000. I don't know if they're going for $2,000, but I definitely know they're going for $1,000 and up.
I was ready to build a PC and then this happened. God damn it.
That's just the card. That's just the card.
It's just better to buy a new PC. Just save
better
to buy a pre-built.
Thanks to that, it essentially killed any of the arguments where people were trying to build a PC. Like, you notice all that shit is stopped dead in the water. Nobody's like, man, I can get me the same performance as an X for less than that, or 545 if you put it in.
What was that argument, D-Batch? It was something about a Pentium drive back then?
Oh, it was Pentium 3420 or some, I don't know, but that processor is dog shit, first of all. I don't know why they're bringing that up. Yeah, it can do the job, but it's still fucking dog shit. No one that's building a PC is really going to put that in. And okay, so what? You put that CPU in there. Go ahead, go find your fucking GPU. These GPUs are $700-800. Good luck to you, sir.
Well, again, I guess we can close the show with this. We get the hell up out of here. Right?
Yeah, because Rachel is on, man.
Fuck you.
Monday Night Football is on.
Well, Meg, let me ask you, and again, I will hate the question. We close with just one question. Hate the question your integrity, right? Well, just ask me in the chat. Do you think the hype has died down for the X?
Absolutely not.
No, that's just like I'm saying right now. Like, I have some PC friends that said they're gonna actually get an Xbox. They said they're gonna get it for Game Pass for starters, so they can get some of the games that they just don't get on the PC platform. And just the way the PC market is right now. And these games on X, like they're well optimized. Like these PC guys, man, they don't like 30 frames per second. They want 60 frames per second because it is a smoother, it's a better experience. However, the games that are, and like I'm talking like 98%. Of course, you have the odd fuck up, but 98% of the games, the 30 frames per second, it's a very smooth experience. Like there's no frame skipping. It's consistent. There's no frame pacing issues. You know, it's pretty good for 30 frames per second. And in all honesty, if you want to cheat, there's a way to cheat. Just turn the frame interpolation on your TV. You're probably gonna get a little bit more input lag, but it'll even smooth it out even more. So you know, there's little tricks and ways around it.
Okay.
But for the price, for $500, I'd rather take that than build a PC now. That's gonna cost me like almost $2,000 to build. That's just ridiculous.
Hey, you get that HDR bonus too. SU PC games don't have that some of the time.
All right, well, okay. And again, I listen. K Meg is a Christian first and foremost, and he's a very honest man.
Rachel Maddow, gotta watch Rachel.
But thank you guys, Rachel. Thank you guys during the week for all the other shows that we do. It's been great to have you in, and praise God. We out of here.
Later.
Peace.
Take it easy.